fucking egg, kill my enemy.
Today we're going to work on our shooting. We're going to focus on 3 fundamental keys to make you a better shot maker and hopefully get you some more playing time. First thing that we're going to focus on is our mechanics, which are very important, which our form, our release, our wrist, follow through, everything's included. Second thing that we're going to work on is preparing for game-like shots. So when we take shots, we're going to take game-like shots. And that divides into 2 groups. First one is we're going to do fundamental stuff that you must be able to do as a basketball player. In any system, any type of game situation you're in, you're going to shoot these shots. And the second part of it is more like what your style of play is. The shots that you're comfortable with and your go-to moves and your go-to shots. And the last part is conditioning and power that you have to develop in order for you to make shots throughout the game, not just the first quarter, second quarter, first half. You guys understand that. So like I said, the first part is working our mechanics, right? So we want to focus on doing drills that are going to help us improve the way our shot mechanics work. Usually we'll work on this around this paint area. We don't need much. What we want to focus on is obviously eliminating mistakes or things that are not textbook like. Now you're not going to be perfect, and it's completely fine. Things like making sure your elbow is facing forward, your hand is under the ball, your wrist is loaded, you have your fingers spread out wide on the ball, okay? And then you have your wristband, hands flat, but that'll give you a natural gap. You want to have a gap. A lot of people say you don't want to have a gap. If you slow down, everybody's shooting. Even if they start flat, as soon as you get to this point, there's a natural gap. And that'll help you feel the ball coming off your fingertips. So the first thing is obviously the reason to have your elbow under the ball. Now, obviously, when I shoot, you see Steph shoot, they don't all shoot like this. It's probably here or a little bit here. As long as it's not here, as long as your elbow is enough to have your hand under the ball. This will keep the ball from spinning this way or that way, going straight forward to our target like it's supposed to be. Secondly, we want to have our fingers spread wide. I don't have large hands, I have decent sized hands. My palm is pretty big. I like to lay it out. I like to have my middle finger in the middle of the ball. You can have 2 fingers in the middle of the ball. The reason why we're spreading our fingers out is we have extremely long hands. You keep it close. When the ball's coming off, your thumb gets involved, your pinky might get involved. You don't want that. You want the ball to rotate like this or like this. You don't want it to be here or like this. So that's why we're spreading our fingers out. As you see the ball leaving my hand, the last 2 fingers will be my index finger and my middle finger. The next thing is also when you lay flat, it helps you when you raise your hand up, you have that natural gap there. Not the artificial gap where you're squeezing the ball and now you're just shooting with your fingers. No, you want the ball to have natural gaps, so it's coming off your fingers. It's not getting pushed by your fingers. Next thing is that you can follow after that is your guy hand. If you have pretty big hands, you don't want your guy hand too close to the ball. The guy hand is there simply to place it, load it, and then it goes away. So you can have, I never pay attention to guidelines too much. I watch, Kobe, Steph. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here. You just adjust. You just don't want it close. Guy hand is just to place the ball with control, so it's not shaking out everywhere. Then you want to keep your follow through. Obviously, in the game, you can't just stand there and wait till it goes in and then you gotta get back on defense. But when you're working out, you want to keep that follow through just to see where your elbow is. You want to have your elbow end up at your eyebrow level, not below it, because that means the shot is too flat, and not above it, that means the shot is too high. You want to have that 90-degree angle or as close to possible to 90-degree angle, so the radius of the basket becomes bigger and the ball can drop in easily. And if it hits parts of the rim, can go in easier still. So now that we went over these basics, let's do some drills for the first part, which is fundamental shooting. Now that we went over basics, I'm going to show you a couple of drills to work on just to have your mechanics of your shot not flawless, but as close as you can get to it. So the first drill, and I'm sure you guys all have seen it, and probably most of you have done it, is a form shooting drill. I like to use it with a lot of my guys when we're training just to get the shot warm, get your hands going, get your wrist, get your feel for the ball. So I'm gonna show you a couple of variations of that. So first, the basic one is you pick out 5 spots, which is essentially corner, wing, top, wing, corner, right? You start in your shooting position, you load up your wrist, you follow through and you shoot. So what you want to do is, I like to set my feet as straight to the basket as possible. Now, is that going to happen every time I'm shooting? No. Maybe sometimes I'm here, I take a step back, 1 foot behind, yes. But in practice, you want to get to as perfect as possible. The keys to work on is you can set your point where you put your hands on the ball. So you want to try to do correctly every single time. You don't want to rush through it. You want to get it done. You want to make as many shots as possible. I usually go 5 for 5 spots, sometimes maybe 10 for 5 spots. Keys to look for is also your legs. Even though we're not jumping, your power is still coming from your legs. So I still want to give that little bump. And if you come up, get on my tippy toes, shoot, right? My other variation is for guys that tend to put their hand here or there, and I'm trying to fix that. I'll start with the ball pressed tight against my thigh. Start with my hand right in the middle of the ball, fingers spread out, and I load my wrist. So this is for guys that keep their hands everywhere and don't load their wrist. So I load my wrist. Now I'm picking it up. And now I'm going to my shot. I start here, load it, bend my knees, and follow. Okay? The next one is single-handed. And this just to get, for the guys that like to push their elbow out and stuff like that, I like to start right here and get here. Single-handed. So yeah, this next drill is for guys that like to have their elbow out. I like to do this drill. You start here, you load your wrist, you bend your elbow. So the next drill is for guys that tend to have their elbow out, don't get their shot right around your face on the right side. Don't tend to have it here or in the middle. You want to shoot from your right, from your strong hand side. So I'm here, loaded, and just follow through. Again, I get my elbow under the ball, I get my hand under the ball, and then boom. So those are 3 variations of form shot that you can do to fix most of your problems that you have with your shot. So the next drill that I like to do, which is also a great warm-up drill for your legs, your hamstrings, to get them firing, get them going, is single leg RDLs. These are great for your balance. So next drill I like to do is single leg RDLs. They are great to warm up, especially your hamstrings, your butt, get you ready for the workout or for the game. Also, it works tremendously on your balance. That's the most important thing, is that when you go into your shot, you want to be as balanced as possible. This will force you to lean one way or another, and you're still able to adjust. So what you want to do is you want to start with one leg raised up, and you're going straight down, slowly, touch your toe, you're on your toes, and this works great on your balance, and balance is so important for shooting. When you're rising up into your shot, you're coming off a screen, you get bumped, quarter slipper, you're not always going to be perfect. So you want to be able to just adjust. And that's what this does. It's also going to, when you first start this drill, it's going to knock you off a little balance, especially if you don't do strong hamstring workouts. So you won't do this. And then you can up the difficulty, which is a great thing about this drill, is that I can go slower. So now there's more tension. I can rise up this leg more straight. You gotta go right into it. The next drill that I like to do, I call backboard contest. So we're essentially shooting behind the backboard, but we're taking angle to where it's not like we're shooting through the backboard, we're shooting over it like it's a contested hand. This helps me to get that in the morning when you just woke up or whatever it is, your shot is not ready, you feel tight. This gives that tightness out of your shoulders. It works on your follow through. It works on pushing the ball up higher. So basically what we want to do is we want to line up with this backboard at an angle, not like this, right here at an angle, like it's a contesting. Get low, I get in my proper position on the ball. I take about a step outside the paint. By pro standards, probably right in the paint, because the pro paint is a little bigger than the high school and college. I get here, it's a contest. I'm not shooting behind the backboard, it's blocked. It's just contesting me from shooting. And it takes adjustment. So now you're not just jacking. You know exactly how much power you need. You know exactly how to push your elbow up and you follow through. I do about 3 makes on each side. And those are 3 drills that are like staples and they're not that advanced. So anybody can pretty much do them to get their shot going.